This is the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz, hosted by Jeremy Jorgenson, and presented by Gate City Bank.
Well, North Dakota State raised the national championship banner one more time this weekend. The crowd roared, and then the Bison stomped UND. It was a thorough dismantling. Joining me on the set is head coach Matt Entz. We're going to talk about the game a little bit, but let's talk about the week of preparation. It was the first time you'd had 1 week to prepare for an opponent, which was different than Butler, where you had the whole summer. How'd the guys handle all that?
Well, it's good. I mean, everything's on a much more urgent tempo, of course, when you only have 4 days to prepare, and you're trying to use every minute of the day that you can with the kids, especially in the afternoon. But it was our first full week of morning special teams meetings, afternoon position meetings, and practice. But I thought our kids did a good job. We have so many young men that really haven't experienced what a full game week is like, so it was good to get one under our belt.
Let's roll the tape. The crowd had a little bit of a buzz to it, didn't it? Bison Nation was roaring.
It was. It was fun to be back in the friendly confines of the dome.
What was that first tunnel walk like? Pretty cool?
It was really, really neat.
Yeah, that never gets old, there's no question. UND won the toss, they deferred, so Trey Lance was trying some deep balls early, wasn't he?
We did. We went back-to-back shots, and this is the second one to Zach Mathis, a young receiver for us that's really started to elevate his game.
When you start on offense, it's big to get points early.
Well, it sets the stage for the rest of the day, and I think probably you can get after their defense a little bit and make them get on their heels.
7-0 early, and how good is Jabril Cox covering the flat?
Well, he's a special athlete. It's difficult to block him in space because of his length, but then he has such great closing speed and the ability to tackle in space.
You know, on defense, did you expect them to blitz much? They blitzed a little bit early. They'll bring 5 on this play right here.
Well, we had seen that they would double hard cover one. They would bring some different pressures, and we knew that they weren't going to let Trey sit back there and pat the football.
You know, they were trying to throw it a little bit early. They were trying to loosen up the run. What'd you think of their play calling early?
Well, you know, a lot of the same things we had seen the week prior against Drake, and so we felt like we had a good plan going into it.
Too much pressure, though. They only got 6 plays here, 13 yards. They just had a lot of traffic in the middle.
They did. It was a great job by Jackson Hankey, what we call our 3-bender player, but would have loved to have seen Michael come down with that pick.
You know, Ben Ellefson, it was great to have him back in the lineup.
Well, when you have one of your captains back and playing and making plays for us, it's a motivational lift for the rest of the team.
You know, Trey Lance, when he tucks it, he can really scoot, can he?
He can, and that's one of the things we've challenged him with is rather than trying to go to your third option, tuck it and get positive yards. Keep moving the chains.
Got out of bounds there, too. That was good. On this drive, he had 3 carries, 31 yards, finished it, too.
He did. Great job of getting in. And our quarterback run game is so valuable in the red zone for us.
Did you expect them to run much wildcat or run many trick plays? This is a little wildcat option here.
We'd seen one. We had known that the Boltman, the young man, had done some wildcat in previous years, so had been ready for it. This is just a missed tackle, unfortunately. This series kind of turned into, I believe it was a touchdown for us. We lost the cup right here. That'll be something that we'll have to address early Monday.
You know, Marquise Bridges is really, really athletic, and this is their good drive, but he made an awesome play here.
What a great break. And he's really separating himself as one of the top corners, I think, in FCS football.
You know, getting off the field on 3rd down was the problem on this drive, wasn't it? This was a 3rd and 14.
There was 2 of them. There was a 3rd and 7. And then this 3rd and 14, and just we got to have a better sense of urgency and put our kids in a situation to be successful.
The Fargo South kid finishes it off here. Jorgenson, he is a powerful back.
He's a big back, yeah, and we tried to do some things when he was in the game versus when he wasn't.
14-7 at this point, so it's important to answer here, and you do put a great drive together, a little fly sweep.
Great job, and what I liked is it's a different player carrying the football in the fly sweep now. You can't just get locked in on one receiver or one back carrying the ball.
You know, this run here by Trey Lance, it's so awesome. His footwork and so impressive on the sideline.
It is. He continues to use his blockers. You know, of course, you know, we don't like to see our quarterback taking all those hits, but a gain of, you know, 20, 25 yards is big for us.
How about this little play? It's a little Tim Tebow jump pass.
Well, like I said earlier, in the red zone, we're able to use that quarterback run game, and it sets up plays like this with our Y hit.
Yeah, these tight ends are catching touchdowns. There's no question about that. The last 5 minutes of the first half, Code Green really did a nice job.
We did. You know, I think the kids understood that the previous scoring drive they had was, we didn't play our best. We needed to continue to get better.
21-7 at halftime right there. 3rd down conversions were big. UND got a lot of those on that one drive. The Bison were 6 of 8 on 3rd down. Time of possession, 18-11. That would be a story of the game as we head into the second half as well. Before we go to the second half, though, let's get to know Ben Ellefson a little bit.
This is Would You Rather with the 2019 Bison, presented by Gate City Bank.
Would you rather go fishing or hunting?
Fishing.
Would you rather go skydiving or cliff diving?
In the water?
Yeah.
I think cliff diving would be pretty fun.
Okay. Would you rather go camping or stay in a hotel?
Stay in a hotel.
Would you rather shovel snow or swat mosquitoes?
Shovel snow. That's the reason why I don't want to go camping.
Would you rather swim in a pool or a lake?
Lake.
Would you rather drive or fly when you're going somewhere?
Fly. Faster.
Would you rather walk 10 miles or go to the dentist?
Dentist.
Would you rather bite your tongue while eating something or step on a Lego?
Bite my tongue. Those Legos are nasty.
Yep. Would you rather sit on a beach or a cruise ship?
Beach.
Would you rather confront an alligator or a bear?
Alligator, I think.
Would you rather be thirsty or hungry?
Hungry.
Would you rather sit in a tractor all day or an office?
Both of them are no-goes. Probably a tractor, at least you're outside.
Okay. Would you rather watch a movie at home or go to the theater?
At home.
Would you rather drink coffee in the morning or juice?
Coffee.
Would you rather own a fancy house or a fancy vehicle?
Fancy house.
Coach, still just a two-possession game at halftime. What was the message in the locker room?
Well, the big one defensively was we needed to do a better job on third down. Those 2 third and longs that we gave up in that scoring drive were, frustrating not only to myself but the entire team. And then offensively, I wanted them to continue to be patient with the play calling. And we talked all week that those runs of 2 or 3 yards early were going to turn into 5, 6, 7, 8 yards later in the game. And just to be consistent, continue to do what they needed to do to be successful.
That's exactly what happened. As we take a look at the second half here, there wasn't a lot of takeaways. It was a pretty clean game. But when you do get a takeaway, it's big, isn't it? And you got one early here.
Oh, we did. We were able to get some pressure on Zimmerman, and they threw the ball up, and Michael did a nice job of making the catch and getting some yards and putting us in a real good field position.
When you get a turnover, you want to cash in at least with 3 or 7. You get a nice run here, and you're going to get a field goal out of this drive, and that was important to answer.
Oh, it was. Anytime you can turn, takeaways into points is big. Of course, our expectations is touchdowns.
Yep, 24-7. What do you think of the kicking game right now? It's looking okay.
Griffin Cross has done an outstanding job. They're coming into the season as the number 2, with Jake getting a little banged up and coming in and being really efficient.
Marquise Bridges, you can do a lot with that kid.
We did here. We brought him off the edge. They were giving us a lot of single width formation, and he has great speed and closing speed and does nice jobs at the tackle.
The running backs and fullbacks, even Garrett Malmstrom caught some balls, but they were catching balls out of the backfield in this one.
Trey did a great job of spreading the ball around to everyone. 9 different offensive players had catches yesterday.
Yeah, 5 balls by the backs and fullbacks. That's great. Adam Cofield had a nice second half.
I thought Adam Cofield ran extremely hard in the second half, and here you see him catching the football out of the backfield. Really valuable young man.
Noah Gindorf, he found the end zone in game 1, and boy, he just has guys bouncing off of him again here.
He's a big physical presence and has great speed, great athleticism, and it's exciting to see those tight ends continue to score.
Yeah, no doubt. It's 31-7, so you're getting some separation now on UND, and that gives the defense a chance to pin their ears back a little bit and get in the backfield here.
Well, we did. We made them a little bit more one-dimensional, and here you see Derek Tuska kind of working to quarterback level and coming back underneath with the sack and being able to get off the field.
So this is the 4th quarter now, and this is where what you talked about. Those 3-yard runs started to turn into 8, 9-yard runs. There's a sequence here of a 6-yard run, 10-yard run, 9-yard run. You're leaning on them now.
We were, and a lot of that goes back to the Rams. And here, I think this is a part of about a 3-play sequence where we ran the exact same play, 3 plays in a row, and just trying to really wear that defensive line out.
Kobe Johnson has a little bit of it factor, doesn't he?
He does. He has great vision, great balance, and he runs much bigger than what he might look.
This was a 4th and 6 play. Not an easy throw, but great calmness by Trey.
I loved it. I wanted to put guys in this situation, and for Christian Watson to make the catch and understand I still got to get that first down.
Trey Lance is really reading plays well, isn't he? Has some options here.
He is. Here, he made the correct read and was able to hit this thing out the backside, untouched for a touchdown.
Well, James Hendricks had to leave the game, so that's an opportunity for someone else. This is a next man up program, and Dawson Weber was the next man up, and he did some nice things.
He did. He came in. He's done a great job of being a student under James, seeing how James attacks the game plan and his approach to the game. So excited for where Dawson's at.
You know, the defense just creates chaos against UND in the second half here, and Michael Tutsi is the benefactor again.
He was, you know, a mere hand drill. Jake Cava from Shanley here getting a ball knocked up in the air, and Michael Tutsi being at the right place at the right time.
Sabian Clark's another young back, and he's really good between the tackles.
He is. We continue to work with Sabian on keeping his pads out and running with great pad level, and here's a great example of when he does that, he's not going to get tackled for loss.
No doubt about it. The final score, there it is. You meet Coach Schweigert at the midfield there, 38-7 on our Nodak Insurance final stats board. And I think a couple key stats here. The rush yards, 68 for UND, 266 for the Bison. In the time of possession, the Bison really grounded it out in the second half there. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
It was a lot of relief, you know, just being back, being able to go out there again. It's pretty special, you know, especially when you can do it in front of our fans, in front of, and to be playing against, you know, UND. It's pretty special, pretty exciting game. So.
I mean, I was just telling Trey at the end of the game, I was like, we got more front looks and more stems and more games between Butler and UND than we have all last season. So for Trey to only, what was it, 2 sacks today or something like that, for Trey to only get 2 sacked twice today, it's amazing the way he comes around. And like you said, I mean, the dynamic he brings to running the ball, I mean, he runs like a deer out there. It's fun to watch him run. So.
They gave us a lot of stuff, you know, maybe we didn't prepare for as well, you know, just didn't expect to see that much, but I think they're a really good team. So, you know, I think I did a decent job of making plays. Our guys did a great job of getting open downfield, and obviously up front, again, the offensive line dominated.
I don't think there was any extra hype that we felt or any extra pressure, you know. It was a big game for the state of North Dakota, you know, for Bison fans and for former players, but I don't think there was any added pressure to us.
Oh, great comments by the players. We certainly could have picked Trey Lance a second week in a row for the Nodak Insurance Player of the Game, but Code Green stepped up big in this one.
The Player of the Game, presented by Nodak Insurance Company.
Roll with his partner James Hendricks sidelined with a concussion, and Tutsi stepped up with 2 interceptions, nearly had a third. He tied for the team lead in tackles, was part of a tackle for loss as well.
Preparation. I'm ready. I'm prepared for this. You know, beginning of the game maybe a little jittery, but once I let it sink in, you know, just go out and play football. That's what we do here. So it made it really easy.
What do you like about Tutsi?
He's a son of a college football coach. Okay. He understands the preparation that needs to go into it. He has a great understanding of the game of football and leverage and schemes and spacing. He's going to continue to get better, and being able to work underneath guys like James Hendricks and Robbie Grimsley a year ago has only helped Michael in his transition to becoming the full-time starter.
Well, James Hendricks did take some contact. I suppose it's a wait-and-see situation with James.
It is. We'll find out more tomorrow once we get our medical staff in and get a better chance to evaluate him.
You know, there was a lot of guys moving around on defense in this game. You mentioned Jake Cava. James Kaiser played a little bit of linebacker. We're going to look at some of the plays here. Thought he did a really nice job. He has a nose for the football.
He does. He's a great football player. We need to find ways to get our best 11 per situation on the football field. And here's a couple examples of him understanding run fits. He's a super intelligent player, and we just got to, again, continue to challenge him to get better. But he's also doing a great job at the safety position as well.
Yeah, what's different about being in the box, too, when you're a safety and you get moved up closer to the ball? It's a little different up there.
Well, I think things just happen a little bit quicker. Those linemen are on you a little bit faster, and so you have to be able to shed blocks more than you might have to at a safety position.
Well, I thought the play calling was fantastic in this football game, and I thought there were some nice little wrinkles from Tyler Roll, and we're going to look at one of them right here. Those tight ends, the 3 big tight ends, all in the game at the same time. It forced a timeout for UND. Great creativity and something else to prepare for opponents.
No doubt. You know, when you have big skill kids like this that can go catch the football and they can stretch the field, it does a lot for you. But, you know, I'm sure UND hadn't seen 13 personnel out there, and all of a sudden, you know, you see they only have 3 down linemen in the game. I'm sure they were nervous about, here comes heavy run game at us. Yeah,
the Bison had 10 in the box there. UND had 9, so that was a problem. Forced a timeout and got them thinking a little bit. And those tight ends are versatile. You can do a lot with those guys.
We have. You've seen them, you know, take seam routes down the middle of the field, an integral part of our run game. And so I could expect to continue to see those guys doing a lot as the year progresses.
Yeah, no doubt. Great job by Coach Roll on that formation right there, forcing a timeout. Well, there's an interesting story with Bartholomew Ubu. What a great story he is. Some of you may have heard it. We'll go a little more in depth with how he ended up at NDSU. Stay with us. It has been quite a road for Bison defensive end Bartholomew Ubu. He went to high school in Bismarck, but the path from Nigeria had its challenges along the way. But this is a young man with a great character. Those close to him in Bismarck found that out real quick.
Today's Bison football feature story is presented by Olaf Anderson Construction.
Bartholomew Ubu is in his second season with North Dakota State. In 2014, he was reaching out to educators and ministries in the United States to escape the political and economic strife of his home country of Nigeria.
We had a little issues with the Boko Haram issue during 2014 area. So my parents thought that coming to America to have an education is the best thing for me at that moment.
After reaching out, he connected with Morgan Fornes, who was the superintendent of Shiloh Christian School in Bismarck.
Initially, my admissions director came to me and said, we've had a unique request. We received an email inquiry from a 15-year-old at that time looking for some admissions opportunities.
And he went through the process of getting to the United States.
I got into a flight, and my parent tells me goodbye, and came over to the United States, and that was the first time I ever been on a plane, but I was the only one that came over from Nigeria.
Once in the U.S., Bartholomew began to get accustomed to the culture of North Dakota.
Most surprising thing, the first thing I guess was seeing the snow, because I came in December 2nd, and there was snow all over everywhere, and it was too cold for me.
After getting over the initial shock of the weather, Ubu got involved in sports.
But had never played any organized sport, even though many others thought otherwise, but he had never played organized sports.
He was a skilled basketball player, and with the urging of Fornes and the coach at Shiloh Christian, they convinced Bartholomew to try out for football.
And of course, he thought football was soccer, and I took him to meet the football coach.
Ubu started on the JV team, learning the game, and as a junior, started to get reps on varsity. By his senior year, colleges started to notice him.
They said, they think I can play in the next level, and I was like, wow, I don't know, I have to talk to my coach about this.
His coach and Fornes told him to listen to the opportunities, and North Dakota State was one of the schools. Fornes was there to explain Bartholomew's story to the coaches interested.
I did say, if you're looking for a young man who is the real deal in terms of a young man who has perseverance and a work ethic and a value system that embodies what I think North Dakota State is all about, I said, I think you've got the guy.
No, I mean, I've never dreamt about this, this before. I mean, it's special, being part of a great culture like North Dakota State. Every time you put on the jersey and you're running out there, you're representing a lot of guys that have come through this program, and that's just special to me. I would give everything in the world to have this opportunity.
For the Bison Football Show, I'm Alex Egan.
Coach, what a story he is, and he's playing a lot right now.
He is. He's a valuable part of Code Green right now, and I only believe he's going to continue to get better. You go back and think he's only played football for about 4 or 5 years, and as the game continues to slow down, he'll become a bigger and bigger part, play a bigger role for us.
The athleticism that he has is there, though, isn't it? The foundation's there.
Definitely, it is. A big, physical, strong kid that can run and change direction. Coach Buddha Williams does an outstanding job with Barty and all the defensive ends.
And he's the character of this kid. He's a nice kid, too, isn't he? I'm sure the other players really like him.
He is if there's favorites within the locker room, Barty's probably one of them. And it's always fun. The days he gets to run the radio, he'll put on some of his African music, and boy, big smile on his face, and the guys love it.
Oh, that's great. It's great to have him in the program. Well, the future crop of Bison takes us to the defensive line this week. That group has a couple of really solid true freshmen.
The future crop of Bison, presented by Peterson Farms Seed.
Reed Ryan was the Defensive Player of the Year in the state of Wisconsin. He was a standout wrestler, has a great frame on him. Ryan visited Notre Dame, had some FBS offers, yet he has a great understanding of what this first year is all about.
Really just from hearing from the coaches and other past players or upperclassmen is your role freshman year is, I would say, you just run the scout team. You take as much advantage as you can running the scout team as you can, and really take that as working on your craft, and you're going against college offensive linemen who have been here 2, 3, 4 years.
You know, that is a really big part of it. You think of a young defensive end like that, and in practice, he's going up against Dylan Raduns and Cordell Volson. I mean, some big physical guys. There's an adjustment period there.
Oh, there is. You're going against guys who are at the peak of their career, and you're 18 years old, and so it's an eye-opener when you first show up. But I think, you know, iron sharpens iron, and these young guys having the opportunity to go against some of the best football players in FCS football only helps them in the transition, and when they have their opportunity, they really take advantage of it.
What are some of the things you like about Reed that you've seen so far?
Big, strong, physical kid. You know, some of that comes back to his wrestling days.
Yeah.
Plays with great pad level. Again, I think that's just a lot of wrestlers. You see that when they make the transition to college football. They have a good base, and so I think he's going to continue to improve. And again, Coach Williams does an outstanding job with that group.
Yeah, and it's not easy to play early on the defensive line, is it? That's a position that takes some time.
No, it's not. Just the size difference from being a junior or senior to when you're 18 years old. It's difficult. You know, we've had a few. You know, Greg Menard played early, but played sparingly and played more as the year progressed. It is a difficult position to play.
Well, we're heading out east this week. The Delaware Blue Hens and the Bison will lock horns this week. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. Well, on our look ahead, it's the Delaware Blue Hens. You see the helmet right here. And what do we know about the Blue Hens? We played them last year, which will probably help.
Yeah, it definitely will. I know they have a new offensive coordinator this year, so we'll have a couple games under his belt. At least we can start to look at some game film today.
Yeah.
But, you know, quarterbacks come returner. A good, solid CAA program, so we're going to have to be ready to go. And as I told the guys yesterday in the locker room after the game, big challenge going on the road.
Yeah, the Bison have been very, very good in true road games. We haven't been this far out east. This will be a new adventure for all of us. NBC North Dakota will have the game back to North Dakota for you. Outside the area, there's some other options. Flow Sports Football, NBC Philadelphia, NBC Washington. There's certainly plenty of options, and the Bison Radio Network will be fired up as well. Have a great week, everyone. The Bison are 2-0.
Got her going. Go Bison! Go Bison!